Good evening. How y'all doing? Yes, I got the same stuff I had on this morning because it's chill all day Saturday for me. I'm off. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so the next topic that I'm going to discuss, and the last topic I'm going to discuss on my live for today, is the older, more experienced nurse or CNA versus the younger, newer CNA or nurse. Okay, a lot of people, when you deal with, hold on, let me get my Pringles, because y'all know I'm greedy. A lot of times when we deal with older CNAs, they have a tendency to already approach your orientation sometimes, or the situation that you all are in a negative way. And what I mean by this is, I'm not saying that all older CNAs and all older nurses are negative. What I'm saying is, when these newer nurses or CNAs approach you, sometimes there's nothing nice that you have to say to them, and I don't feel like that's right. So the first thing I'm going to get into regarding this is seniority. Okay. What I will say about seniority is, and the older CNA and the older nurse is, we respect your seniority. Even though sometimes your job and some of the other employees may not, for the most part, the majority of your staff respects your seniority. I'm going to say it again. We respect your seniority. We respect that you done been on this job for 20 years. Sometimes I look at you and be like, I don't know how, Lord, how you did it, But we respect that. We respect that because you don't oftentimes see longevity, especially in the nursing field nowadays. We have so many jobs that's available to us. And nowadays, it's kind of like, if you don't want to deal with something, we don't. I hear that, Jaquil. Jaquil said he can't stand when a nurse when he asks a nurse for help and she says, call the other nurse, that's not my group, or that's not my patients. You already know what I say about that, Jaquil. You done worked under me before. They all our patients. I don't care if it's on the other nurse side, they all our patients. So if she's not available, things happen. She might be in a dining room or close to the dining room, and you might be down the hall or close to her hall. If a patient is going through something, you get the closest nurse to you. If it was a perfect nursing world, it'll work like that, but it doesn't. So we're going to talk about years of experience. Like I said, we respect your years of experience. But I need y'all to understand that seniority does not mean, okay, just because seniority exists, it does not mean you should have more leeway, or that you should be able to make a vast amount of mistakes that other nurses and CNAs that are younger than you cannot. We've all been the shortcut nurses. We've all been the shortcut CNAs. We know what we got to do when we got to do it. Sometimes time does not permit. You can have the best time management in the world, but things do occur. But I feel like a lot of the older CNAs and the younger CNAs, a lot of the older CNAs and older nurses feel as though, these young kids come in, and they call them kids because some of them are old enough to be their kids. They come in and they feel as though they're trying to take their job. That's not always the case. They're not always trying to get your job. And that actually goes with a lot of different professions. When these older kids are coming out of college and they're coming to teach for the first time, or they're coming to manage for the first time. Okay, they didn't go to school for nursing. They went to school for management. That's what they want to do. Respect. Don't look at their age when it comes to a job. You look at someone's profession and their education. That's what we have to look at nowadays, because that's what gains you the respect from certain people. Now, if you're like me and you raised with respect, period, you're going to respect people, and respect their positions. So seniority. we are not all trying to take your jobs. It does not mean because you're a senior that you are better than the next person. That's right, Lachey. You are still teachable. You don't know everything. Understand, if you are one of these nurses or CNAs that's older, that change in nursing is prevalent. It's going to occur whether you die today or tomorrow. Nursing, medicine, all of that, it changes every day. With that being said, the most recent change that has occurred in our career, nursing, is computer charting. Okay. If anybody was on a staff job when this was occurring at first, or if you, like me, and you travel and you work agency, hey, Cuzzo, hey, Brandon, hey, Auntie Diana, computers. I didn't like computers, and I've been working with computers since, 8th grade, 7th grade, something like that. I didn't like computer charting because anything new at any job, you're more prejudiced against because you don't know. You understand what I'm saying? It's the not knowing. So like I said, but we come to find out that computers actually enhance your nursing documentation or your CNA documentation. Okay. Whereas when we would manually and hand chart in these paper chart during nursing, we left out a lot of things. With computer charting, you can give a full and complete respiratory review systems assessment. You know, you're not just touching on breath sounds and then not really talking about a productive cough, or, you know, my nurses out there and CNAs know what I'm talking about. You miss certain things. We don't all agree with everything on computers, but what we can agree to disagree on are our jobs are easier. But paper should always be a backup. And I'm going to tell you why. Because computers have the ability to break down or shut down. As with any electrical device, we as nursing staff, and what I mean by that is not just management staff. Sometimes we have to think for our managers and our DON, you know, because we can get caught up easily like this. Computer breaks down. Keep a record of the days that the computers in your facility breaks down, because what will commonly happen is when they do come back up, management staff will assume that you just didn't complete your work because it's not documented. And that's not always the case. You have to let them know, hey, on September 1st, you know, the computers is down all day that day. And, you know, they should be able to keep a copy of when they were down to have those records on file for whenever state comes in their building. Another thing as far as nursing goes, and older nurses versus younger nurses and CNAs. As nurses, we eat our young. If you're not a nurse, you don't know what that means, but I'm going to break it down to you. It's a rhetorical statement. It's not physical, but we basically throw our new nurses to the wolves. That is not how you supposed to react to anyone on any different job, on any job. Hey, Ma, Stephanie in the house. Hey, Miss Helen. Oh, Lord. I'm talking about the older CNAs. I'm just going to put a shout out there to one of these older CNAs. Miss Helen Simmons was an older CNA that I've had the privilege to be working with when I first moved to Virginia. She is one of the best to do her job. Miss Helen, Miss Catherine, Miss Vera. And what's crazy about that is in Virginia, I had two older CNAs that were named Miss Helen and Miss Vera. And in Louisiana, I had two older nurses who actually taught me how to be the nurse that I am, named Miss Helen and Miss Vera. I don't know if they still at Tesh or not, but if anybody see them, tell them that Nada said, hey, I gave a shout out to them today, Miss Helen and Miss Vera. Morgan City, Louisiana. Shout out to y'all. Y'all sent me home crying a whole bunch of times, but I ain't care and y'all ain't know. But it made me a stronger nurse, so thank y'all. I'm gonna give a heads up on that, you know. But so as a nurse, we eat our young. It's not rhetorical. It's not, you know, it's not a rhetorical. It's a rhetorical statement, not a physical statement. We throw them to the wolves. Older nurses. You have a new nurse working on your side. It's her first day. Yeah, she's off orientation. You know, we already fussing because these days they giving them 6 weeks in orientation, and we got thrown to the floor after a day and a half, 2 days because they were so short. Okay, it happens. Thank God you're the nurse that you are now. Okay, let's get over the fact that they have longer orientations than us, or you know, they get away with whatever because they're new. So what I'm going to say when I say that is help your new nurse with her admission, older nurses. You know, teach her, allow this to be an opportunity for her to teach, be taught. I'm sure your live videos are very useful to someone. I admire your intelligence. Let me know exactly what type of nurse you are. The best. All of those ladies just mentioned are all my favorites. Oh, I know, right? Hey, Keish. Help them take an opportunity when they have an admission to teach them about that admission, what to do the next time they have an admission. Because if any of these new nurses are visual nurses, we all know we all learn differently. Sometimes you may learn visual things. You're a hands-on nurse. You got to do it. Sometimes you're just a theory nurse, you know, and thank God that, you know, we have some hands-on nurses. Not saying nothing about the theory nurses, but some of the theory nurses tend to, you know, just had a book smart. You got to do it, though. You got to be able to do it. So help your new nurse with an admission. Provide teaching. Let them know a code. Okay, honey, look now. We're about to do this admission. I'm going to go in this room with you. First thing we're going to do is we're about to verify these meds. A code status must be on front of this chart because just like they came in here, you know, in here, they can be being sent out in the next hour or two. Had that happen too before. So provide a code status immediately. Make sure that's in your orders coming from the hospital or wherever these people come from. The most terrible admission to me is an at-home from home or from a direct admit from a doctor's office type admission. Sometimes they just don't have all the information needed. And you got a whole bunch of clarification that needs to be done. But help her and tell her, you know, what must be done. This admission note must get done. So let me help you with your assessment. This is what you want to include in your admission note. Include the diagnosis for every med on your med list when you fax that over to pharmacy. You know why? Because pharmacy is just doing their job. They're not nurses, but they have specific requirements in order for them to input these medications into their system. They must have a diagnosis. So for example, I'm just going to educate you on a little bit of things. And this is things that I've seen in my nursing career. Prilosec. If you're a nurse, what is Prilosec for? Reflux. So, you know, your diagnosis would be GERD. Lisinopril. It's blood pressure medication. Diagnosis would be hypertension. Lasix. That's a medication that takes care of swelling in your lower extremities. Or if you got congestive heart failure, anything that adds fluid onto your body. So we would say that's for edema or swelling. If you're a nurse, you know that. KCl or potassium. That's for hypokalemia, which means low potassium. Now you get these nurses. I ain't gonna say they what people say they 2 decks short of cards or whatever. They slow or they I don't know. But I've seen it to where you write a medication to be verified, like Colace. I know Colace is for constipation. I done seen a diagnosis for Colace, hypertension. Crestor, it's not for blood pressure. It's for hypercholesterolemia, high cholesterol. Some of these new nurses just don't know. And because you're an older nurse and you look intimidating, or your tone of voice is intimidating, or your approach or your demeanor is intimidating, you are unapproachable to these people. And you shouldn't be unapproachable to a new nurse. That says a lot about your character as a nurse. You know, you got these nurses that won't help anybody do anything, you know. Shout out to them, because you must do everything by yourself and complete your whole work. You can't function like that in these nursing facilities. Everybody need everybody. And I mean the whole team. Any wounds that need to be addressed, take that opportunity to teach them about macerated edges or why they occur, the depth of the wounds, measuring, types of tissues. Older CNAs, bring your orientees in these admission rooms and educate them on how to obtain a length properly. and how to clean a patient properly. You would not believe the amount of adults, and I'm going to say adults because you're a CNA at 18, you're an adult considered in society, that don't know how to wipe themselves properly. That's why you're ending up with all them UTIs. It's not from back to front. You putting E. coli all up in there. If you're female, anyway. You wipe these female patients from front to back. Everybody doesn't know that. Now, as a CNA, I'm going to get in one up because you can be 17 and you're a CNA. You consider the adult. You know, you're just getting out of high school. Teach these young girls how to perform this care properly on these patients. Properly. Older CNAs, like I said, cleaning the patients from front to back, removing admission linen from under these residents. Because see, if you're a nurse like I am, I'm gonna go as soon as I get an admission. First of all, I'm aggravating the mess out of my admissions coordinator, whoever she is, and I'm getting that admission. I'm gonna bother you all day until they come. Because what I need to know is, I need to see my discharge summary. I need to make sure all of these meds are straight. So when I get on the phone with report from that hospital nurse, I need to know exactly how they were taking this med, because they got a G-tube and you got by mouth. I'm getting all that clarified before the gate. Can you fax me over a new sheet? Can you get this corrected for me? But see, I'm a proactive nurse and I'm an anticipation nurse. So I'm going to anticipate anything that can go wrong first to make my process that much easier. Okay. And what I mean by removing linens is nothing like you getting an admission at 11 o'clock in the morning and your 3 to 11 staff coming through the door. And these admission patients have blue linen under them, white linen under them, is bunched all up under them. First and foremost, as a nurse, that aggravates the mess out of me. Yeah, I know I got a lot of pet peeves as a nurse, but I was that kind of CNA. Don't get it twisted. I was that kind of CNA. You know, I like my sheets to be straight because a wrinkled sheet is the start of a pressure wound. I'm going to say that again. Believe it or not, a wrinkled sheet is the start of a pressure wound. If you didn't know, now you know. You right, Erlene. How you doing, boo? As an older CNA, you know, if you see someone struggling at the computer, you know, a lot of us have Cerna. We deal with, what is it called? Care Tracker. As an older CNA, teach these newer CNAs what it means to document, like the meaning and the rationale, the reasoning behind this documentation. You know, some CNAs document a 00. Well, they shouldn't be. That patient shouldn't be there. Point blank. Period. Who's a 00? That means that patient can walk out their room without any assistive devices. That patient can walk out their room and just pull a tray off the cart and sit down, open their tray, set their tray up, feed it. We're not dealing with patients like that in this community. In this geriatric community, we just don't. Okay. So teach them how to document stool and urine. Teach them that the rationale for this is that your nurse has to keep up with this, because this would dictate whether or not that patient would need something for their bowels in 2 to 3 days. Some people just don't know. And see, you can't hold people accountable for the things that they don't know. Teach them how to apply assistive devices. Teach them how certain individualized patients need certain things. You have to teach them. Don't just expect them to know. A lot of older nurses, you know, they always use the older nurses and CNAs. They always use the term, well, I got such and such number on my cell phone. I can call her now. You know what? I'm going to just talk to y'all personally. That's an intimidation tactic, and we don't care. We don't care that y'all got whoever's number on your phone to call them immediately, because we already know you the snitch. We already know you're the one causing chaos on the unit and putting this person against this person. Just stop it. Because ultimately, we are all on the same team. Whether you like it or not, we all on the same team. You know. I hope this video helps somebody. I just want y'all to know when we know better, we do better, or it's supposed to go down like that. Like I said, you know, I don't want these videos to come off as negative, nothing negative. I really want them to come across as positive. It's just giving you the real about nursing and letting you know how, me personally, how I feel in my field. I can't answer that. A new nurse will worry you to death. As some of her, don't know. I know how to behave, how to sign the agreement. No need to stand over me, go fashion mask. I understand, Erlene. You know I understand. I'm gonna just bring that up briefly. When you are a new nurse, and I'm gonna just give you a heads up. Yes, you work with CNAs that have been there longer. They know these patients. They know what. Because I done had CNAs. Oh Lord, she aggravated the mess out of me. And matter of fact, I ain't gonna even let y'all know. I'm gonna say her name start with an F. I miss her to death though, because that was my boo boo. And she work on Bonnie Road. That's all I'm gonna say. Her name start with an F, and she's a 73 CNA. But anyway, she was the type of CNA, and this is the type of CNA I've always loved to be on my team, especially if I was a nurse on their hall. Because first of all, you learn how to talk to your staff. Talking point is the most important point. Learn how to talk to your staff, and that's old versus young. Learn how to talk to your staff. Don't come to work telling me, first of all, don't walk in with a nasty attitude saying, I'm not here for this. I ain't about to deal with this. I don't care what you feel like you about to deal with or not about to deal with. I just need to give you a report. I just need you to take these keys and count these narcotics so I can go home. Have a good day. And that's how I always end it. I'm not about to allow your negative energy to overpower mine or supersede mine. It's just not about to happen. You know. But like I said, sometimes we have these newer nurses that don't know. But like I said, this particular CNA was so awesome. And I would never tell her that. So if anybody knows who I'm talking to, please don't show her this video. I don't want her to think I like her like that. But I love her. That's why. She will come to me in the morning. She already know that I'm running through meds because we got behaviors that's about to happen. Yes, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm running through my meds. She will come up to me. Nada. You got that patch that going such and such back? You know, we know as nurses, we're not supposed to allow our CNAs to do this. But if you have that kind of help, if you have that kind of diligent person that is a part of your team, that's a gem. Recognize her. They might talk all the crap in the world, this and the other, but if you see them doing for these people, give them a break. Because she's looking out for you. I remember I done been in nursing homes where I would line up all my, and if anybody didn't work with me, and I done did, they already know, I'm lining up all my creams, all my protective ointment, all my, A&D ointment for to protect their bottoms. I'm lining up all of that. You understand? I'm lining up all of that because I already know that it's CNAs that I'm working with that have expectations of their nurse, as you should. And I'm going to talk to every CNA when I talk about this. You should have expectations of all your nurses. Because I'm going to tell you like this. If one nurse has expectations, for example, if one nurse expects you to have a total care patient turned every 2 hours, that next nurse shouldn't just be on her behind eating the entire shift and passing meds for 1 hour of her shift in a 12-hour shift. Because you know she's not doing everything. As a CNA, you should know that. If that other nurse is busting her butt every time you work with her, but this nurse on the same shift is doing this, you already see who getting meds, who's not getting meds, who getting their treatments done, who's not. That's stress on your CNA, especially if that CNA loves her job, loves her assignment. And that goes into the topic of, you know, putting more on your CNAs. I got that too coming up. Putting more on your CNAs than you should, because it's something that needs to be talked about, you know. Look at Erlene. She will give you all the creams you need. Y'all got mad about that though. A lot of them got mad about that, Erlene. But When you're somebody in these facilities that stand for change, that believes in change, just know you're going to be targeted. You know, you could say the right things, but if you're not walking that walk, people are not going to take you serious. Be that type of nurse that your CNA staff takes serious. Lead your shift. Because what I will tell you, being a nurse as long as I've been a nurse, is the energy that I bring on to my shift dictates how my shift is going to be ran. I'm going to say that again. The energy that I bring to work with me is going to dictate how my shift is ran. And because I'm a true Louisiana and we always bring the party with us, I don't care if work is dead, I'm bringing the party with me. Because this is what these people deserve. They don't deserve 50% of you. They deserve 100% of you. When you know better, you do better. That's the end of this live. And what I will say is, like I said before, I hope this is not negative towards anybody. Anybody don't feel like this is negative. It's just allowing you to be a better nurse / CNA. So take this as a teaching moment. And I would like for it to be brought across like that. And we have more topics to talk about. Some of the topics I'm going to just run over on with y'all. That's going to be coming up soon is when patients are scheduled to go out on appointments or transferred to the hospital, what things must be in place and how should you as a nurse relay that report to the EMS staff or the dispatcher you're on the phone with. Another topic that I'm going to discuss, you get your own self fired. Take responsibility for your actions. Another topic that's going to be coming up, proper medical treatment in the jail system. Does it exist? And something like that. I've never been a jail nurse, but I really want to talk about that subject because a lot of our brothers and sisters are in jail, whether they white, black, Hispanic, whatever. Our jail community is very, very heavily populated these days. And if you know me, you already know how I feel. I feel like it's modern day slavery. I feel like people are in jail for nonviolent crimes that should be out. You know, I don't feel like a drug dealer should have more time than a rapist. I mean, it's a lot of different views. I'm not going to get into that politicking. I don't want this to turn out to be like that, but it's certain things that people are closed-minded to that need to be talked about. It's people dying in jail every day. I just read something, just came to my phone. Hampton Roads jail, inmate just died. Why is this occurring in our jail system? Another topic that I want to discuss that's very important. Keeping your facility in compliance. Act like state is in your building before your state window opens. Common practices. What are you here for? When you deal with patients with behaviors. Knowing what to report, because we are all mandated reporters. Knowing what job is right for you. It's not all about the money all the time, and I'm going to give y'all my secret to this job thing in nursing. I truly believe that nursing is a gift. Everybody that's a nurse does not possess that gift. I'm going to say that again. I truly believe that nursing is a gift, and everybody that is a nurse does not possess that gift quality that is required of a nurse. Everybody just don't. Everybody that teaches ain't supposed to be a teacher. So speak to me. Everybody that police ain't supposed to be a police officer. I am going to discuss that April, but I'm trying to see about how to bring that across as far as staff and agency nurses. I kind of got a topic in mind, but I got to outline it. And like I said, what job is right for you? It ain't all about the money. If we all looked at the job that we on as an assignment, this is not my job. This is an assignment. This is an assignment. And once I'm done on this assignment, I'm gonna move on. Or I'm gonna be removed. Sometimes it's good to be removed out of certain situations. You understand what I'm saying? Whether that be removing yourself or somebody removing you. Like I said, and that's on any job. Sometimes it's good when you remove yourself from certain situations. Because if you can't have peace on your job to a certain extent, why are you there? Why are you there? Love you too, April. Go ahead and go to work. What are you working at today? Hey, India. I love your pictures, boo. Okay. So that's all for today, y'all. Have a good day. I hope in all, in all your in all your getting is what I'm gonna say. Get you some understanding about what you're doing. Don't waste time in this field. Don't waste your time and nobody else's time in this field. We all nurses. We all love what we do. There's room in this field for everybody. This is folks' livelihood. You don't want to mess with that. Not the way things are going this day and age. So like I said, when we know better, we do better. One love, y'all. Peace out.